I never thought everything would collapse the way it did. One minute I was brushing him off, saying he was too sensitive, and the next he was zipping up a suitcase, leaving me behind like I was just some passerby in his life. My name's Emily. I'm 27. If I could erase just one decision, it would be the night I defended someone unworthy of my loyalty instead of the man who genuinely loved me. That was the start of it all. It goes back a couple of years, on a slow Sunday morning. I was, as usual, running late for brunch. By the time I finally showed up, Noah was already halfway through his second mimosa. He shot me that familiar grin and cracked one of his typical lines, something about how I could make even lateness look good. That was Noah to the core. Always teasing, always at ease. He had been a constant since high school, there for every heartbreak, every chaotic night, every poor choice I stumbled through. He was the one who answered my 2 a.m. calls when no one else did. We had kissed a few times, but it never turned into anything real. At least not for me. Noah was always the fallback, the safety net I never questioned. Then Jacob appeared. Jacob wasn't flashy or loud. He was steady, kind, a man who could quiet the noise in my life just by being there. He was a civil engineer, yet when he talked about bridges and highways, it sounded almost poetic. We met at a wedding when he spilled wine on my dress and apologized like I was royalty. That tiny moment led to coffee, then dinner, then something much deeper. Those first 6 months with Jacob felt like living in a dream. He remembered my coffee order, surprised me with flowers for no reason, and calmed me through meltdowns without ever making me feel like a burden. For the first time, I felt truly seen. He even welcomed Noah at first. But Noah didn't make it easy. He'd mock Jacob, calling him Mr. Spreadsheet, joking he'd always be my number one. I'd laugh it off, but deep down, maybe I laughed because a part of me wished it were true. Jacob never lashed out, but I saw the worry in his eyes. Sometimes he'd ask softly, "Did you ever have feelings for Noah?" I'd brush it off with a laugh. Of course not. He's just my friend. But those late-night texts told another story. Messages at 1 a.m., inside jokes, old memories, callbacks to nights Jacob knew nothing about. I'd flip my phone face down, telling myself it was just to avoid an argument. But if I was being honest, I knew there was more to it. The breaking point came when I lied. Jacob's birthday was near, and I told him I had to stay late at work. In reality, I was at Noah's apartment. We didn't cross any physical line, just watched a movie. But when Noah leaned in and whispered, "I miss how it used to be," something inside me stirred that I didn't want to face. The next morning, Jacob made pancakes and kissed my forehead like always. I wanted to confess, but instead I swallowed the guilt, telling myself it wasn't that serious. Not serious enough to ruin us. 2 weeks later, Jacob looked at me with a clarity that made my stomach twist. "I love you," he said, "but I need you to block Noah. Not to control you, but because it feels like he's sitting between us. I'm tired of feeling like an outsider in my own relationship." Instead of hearing him, I laughed. I mocked his request, called him insecure. I'll never forget the way he just nodded, stood up, and calmly walked to the closet to pack his things. His quiet shook me more than any shouting ever could. I begged, cried, screamed, but Jacob didn't move. "This isn't only about Noah," he said softly. "It's about how you made me feel small for wanting a boundary. Like I was weak for needing respect. I'm not weak. I just know what I deserve." And with that, he left. No slammed door, no angry goodbye, just silence. That night, Noah came over. I thought maybe having him there would dull the pain. But he barely looked up from his phone, distracted, uninterested. He didn't stay long. And in that emptiness, I finally saw the truth. Noah was never my anchor. He was just the thrill of recklessness. And once the secrecy was gone, so was he. Weeks went by, then months. Jacob never reached out. I wrote him a long, desperate email, pouring out everything I'd held back, but he never responded. Friends told me he had his own place now, that he started working out, that he even posted a picture smiling with his sister's dog. Meanwhile, I unraveled. That's when I finally cut Noah out for good. Deleted the texts, erased the photos, and started therapy. I forced myself to face the damage I caused, to stop hiding behind excuses. It's been 9 months. I'm seeing someone new, slowly and carefully. But Jacob still lingers in my thoughts. Not because I want him back, but because he showed me what real love is. Love that has boundaries. Love that refuses to beg for respect. Love that's strong enough to walk away when staying isn't safe anymore. For the longest time, I thought blocking someone was petty. Now I understand its strength. Cutting ties isn't always punishment for the other person. Sometimes it's protection for yourself. Jacob wasn't weak when he walked out. He was brave. And when he closed that chapter, he wasn't giving up on love. He was finally choosing himself.